Hello everybody, we're going to solve LeetCode question 36, valid Sudoku. So, determine if a 9x9 Sudoku board is valid. Only the filled cells need to be validated according to the following rules. So, each row and column must contain the digits 1 through 9 without repetition, and the same goes for the sub-boxes. So, we see there's no duplicates in this row, no duplicates in this column, and no duplicates inside each sub-box. So this is considered a valid Sudoku board. In this case, this 8 appears twice in the first sub-box and also appears twice in the same column. So this is an invalid Sudoku board, right? So we're going to start looping through each value in the Sudoku board. So it's going to be a 9x9 constant time. So R for row, start at 0. And then we're going to loop through each column in that row. So int c equals 0. Okay, and plus plus. Okay. So for each value that we encounter, we need to determine 3 things. 1, it's not a duplicate in the row. 2, it's not a duplicate in the column. And 3, it's not a duplicate in the current sub-box. So determine if a unique in row, column, and sub-box. So that's easy to understand intuitively, but how do we actually code this up? So in my mind, a hash set is the best data structure to use because it contains unique values. And you can always check if that number appears in some dimension of the Sudoku board, whether that's the row, column, or sub-box, right? So what we have to do is create a hash set outside of the for loop. So hash set, and that's going to be of integer. Actually, it's going to be a string, and I'm going to explain why it's a string. Equals new hash set. Right. So there could be ways of making 3 hash sets, one for rows, one for columns, and one for sub-boxes, but I'm not exactly sure how I would make a hash set for each sub-box that we're in. Maybe we have to make a third loop and then, check each sub-box that way. That's a possibility. But one solution I've seen from Nick White actually is what you do is add the number and also the position that it's in. So what we're going to say is scene.add. So you're going to put the current value, so board at index RC, and then you would add some sort of identifier like in row R, right? And then you do the same thing for the column and sub box. So RC in column C. And for sub box, to get each sub box, we divide our current row by 3 and the current column by 3. So if R is 0, we're in the first row and the first column. Obviously we know 0 divided by 3 is 0, so we're in the 0, 0 sub box. So what we have to do is say row divided by 3 and then add a dash, column divided by 3. And we always check this if it's not a period, because a period is just a blank space. So we're going to get the current character, so car current equals board at index RC, and then we check if it's not empty. So cur is not equal to that period. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so these things all need to be true in order to move forward. So if any of these are false, which means that we found a duplicate somewhere in the row, column, or sub box, then we return false. So then we can just say if, okay, we're going to make like a nested if. So if this returns false, using hash sets, the add function, if it returns false, then that means that number already appeared. So if not seen.add this thing in the current row, or not seen add at the current column, or not seen in the current sub box, then we return false. Because all it takes is for one of these to be false in order for it to be an invalid Sudoku board. Okay? And then from here we can just return true. And let's see if that looks good. Okay, runtime looks good. Test cases. Okay. And yep, that looks good. So basically we're just using one hash set to determine three things all at once. So if that number appeared in the same row, column, or sub box, then we return false. Else we get to the very end, we don't have any issues, we can just return true. If anybody knows another solution where we can add 3 hash sets, also accounting for the sub boxes, I'd like to see that. Just because I like solving problems in more than one way. So that's how you solve number 36, valid Sudoku. Thank you for watching.